Hi, my name is Lisa, and I am going through withdrawal from clonazepam, a benzodiazepine. I have been off the drug now for 21 months. It is day 636 that I am free from the drug, and I am still going through hellacious symptoms. Believe it or not, I know many people don't believe this, but it is so very real because I am living it. I was on the drug for over 6 years, originally given for some insomnia, anxiety, normal life situations, and I've been basically drugged out of my mind from psychiatric drugs. I started with an adjustment disorder, basically just needed to, figure things out in my life, which who in the heck doesn't, right? Well, 3 drugs right away off the bat. And I just believed my doctors, and I started getting more diagnoses because the side effects of the drugs I was on was causing what our society would call mental illness, which I no longer believe in. But they kept drugging that, and before you know it, I was at bipolar 3, and I had PTSD, and I had agitated depression, and I had bipolar aspects, and general anxiety disorder, and all these things. I came off of the drugs after I got very, very, very sick, and finally just woke up. An ER doctor said, maybe it's your drugs making you so sick. So I finally got off of them, and the benzo was by far the hardest. I tapered off of it way too fast, only 3 months when it should have taken probably a year and a half or more. My brain went into shock. But that's kind of the history here, and I'm doing videos on individual symptoms, and this video is on depression. I became very, very depressed 3rd year on the drug. I had never been depressed previous to that. I was 44 when I went on the drugs, and other than a bad day here and there, which everybody has, especially when you're raising children and running a business, etc. Sure, I have a bad day, but I was never anything near what I would call depressed. Well, in the summer of 2009, I had been on and off different antidepressants that they were using to try to manage the anxiety, and I just fell into a very, very deep depression. I could not get out of bed till 10 or 11 in the morning. Depression is absolutely immobilizing mentally, physically, and emotionally. I had no feelings of positivity, no feelings of creativity, no feelings of joy, no feelings of happiness, no feelings of pleasure. Absolutely and completely apathetic, could care less. And it was even beyond not caring. It was like, I want to die, like now, every minute of every day. It's just exhausting to be depressed. Well, after I went off the drugs, the depression only worsened. I would just sob in my pillow, just begging God to take me, just begging Him to take me. It was completely and absolutely soul-sucking, life-sucking. It's just hideous, the emotional state that I've been in. I'm finally starting to see some little breaks. Thank God, some little breaks. Yesterday I was taking down my Christmas tree, and I felt a little surge of happiness. I felt a little smile come on. I felt a little bit of the heaviness lift. Depression is so scary. Although I've never had depression outside of what the drugs have caused, I've heard people who have had normal life depression say that chemical depression caused by the drugs is by far worse. And I believe it. I know what I feel and have felt. It is absolutely immobilizing. I could stare for hours. Everything I do takes such extreme effort to just push forward and do the next thing. You just don't care about anything. Well, I'm finding that's lifting a little bit here and there. What the drugs do is they disable your brain. They have wiped out my serotonin and any other type of feel-good chemicals that we have. They have absolutely, completely wiped away my ability to feel positive about anything. Exercise does not help. Eating right does not help. Supplements do not help. Talking does not help. It's not like normal life depression. It is done by a chemical, and until my brain regulates and my serotonin levels increase and everything just figures itself out up there, I'm going to remain depressed. These drugs just take away your ability to feel and act and be normal. I would sit with my psychiatrist and say, it says on the literature that depression is a side effect of the benzos, and she just had me convinced, no, you're really depressed. She said I had agitated depression, which God only knows what that is. She just had me convinced, like she just didn't hear me. Antidepressants as well cause depression. Look at the labels. Think about what you're doing when you're putting these drugs into your body. I believe after 2 years now of researching and reading, and especially Robert Whitaker's Anatomy of an Epidemic, it's an excellent book, and it talks in there about how human nature does bring on depression. Just life brings on depression, traumas, trouble during your upbringing, problems that you haven't thought about and thought through and talked out, stuffing your feelings down. All of this can bring depression. It's normal to have depressive episodes in your life. It's perfectly normal. And it can go on for a few months. Please, please try to think of something you can do other than going to these disabling drugs. They throw these drugs at your brain and they have no idea what they do to them. It's a guessing game. There is not one diagnostic test to show that depression is a chemical imbalance. Not one. Yes, there is brain scans where a brain might be swollen from being depressed or things like that, but there's not a test to say, yes, this is a deficiency and this is a drug that's going to help it. There's nothing like that. It's been a big scam. It's really just a big joke, and it's criminal that they're throwing these disabling drugs at our poor brains, like our brains are, just this target, and let's see what we can hit. Let's see if something works. You can get sucked into the deepest, darkest psychiatric trap imaginable. It is horrific what I have been through. Depression is just one of the 60 symptoms I've had. So please think about what you're doing. Work through your problems in another way. Don't just think a pill is going to solve your problems. It's not. You may feel better for a while. Yeah, because they're shooting in the dark with these drugs. Maybe something works somewhere for some period of time. Why would you take a chance like that? No, don't take a chance with your brain. Please don't. Work through your problems. Eat well. See a therapist. Drink water. Exercise. Do whatever you have to stay off of these drugs. It is just downright criminal what these doctors do. And I'm here to tell you to please, please question your doctors. Read, research, and think about what you're doing before you take psychiatric drugs. I just want anyone out there going through benzo withdrawal to know it is hell on earth. I've done it for 636 days, and I'm going to keep doing it because I know I'm going to get out of this place. I know I'm going to, and so are you. You are not alone. You are not alone. There's many of us going through this, and we're going to make it. Keep hanging on. 1 more minute, 1 more hour, 1 more day, 1 more week, and boy, I'm going on 3 years here, but I'm going to make it, and so are you.